maybe I'd start being a lion.
Wait. Alright. I'll put this right in the way. Hang on a minute. I have to. Yeah, I've put it the wrong side. I've put my mic the wrong side. I've put it the side that's going to make noise. So, let me move it. I mean, this is going to make noise for you. Hold on. Are we going? I think we're going. Hello. Come on then. Right. Monday, 23rd of June. 14:45. It's hot. Sun's out. Haven't done one of these for a little while. Not since the last time. Doesn't matter to you, does it? Still haven't had my I went for that mental health assessment. 23 days it's been. Not heard a peep. So that's irritating. Just been left to get on with it. Just fucking. Just look after yourself. Yeah, well I can't, can I? There's no urgency. Come on. I thought I'd come out and talk about emotional immaturity. I've been learning about that. Because I've been questioning whether, I mean, it started with just my mum. Have I got an emotionally immature parent? Was I raised by an emotionally immature parent? And then I wondered about my father too. But I don't have, I don't have as much contact with him, so it's harder for me to think about that, with any degree of accuracy, I would say. Before I got my autism diagnosis, I had the question put in my head, am I a narcissist? Am I narcissistic? I didn't really know what a narcissist was or did, and I had to look into that, look it up. Am I? I certainly didn't know. But I worried about it from that point. Because, I mean, I guess in my head that's a bad thing, isn't it? How can I say that about it but not know what it is? I've got this preconception of it being a bad thing. There are good narcissistic traits that you could have, and there are different types of narcissism. But I didn't know any of that. I also didn't know I was autistic, and there is an overlap of traits. It's just about to have a shit. Yeah, right, see you in a minute. It's windy. No, leave it, come on, leave it, this way. Yes, so there are an overlap of traits with narcissism and autism. So I think that's where the muddy waters are. It's what can be confusing if you're trying to work that out. But after I got my autism diagnosis, I can't remember how long after, and I can't remember if it was before I got my ADHD diagnosis, which was about 5-6 months later. I'm still looking at it, I'm still considering it, I'm still trying to work that out. Now, my understanding is, if you're worried about being a narcissist and you're looking into it, it's probably likely you are not a narcissist. And now I know I'm autistic and the traits overlap, you know, some of them, for some people, there can be, got to be careful with what you say, there can be some overlap. I think it's probably more likely that I'm just autistic. I'm not a narcissist. I feel like I can settle with that. I'm happy. I'm not happy, but I can settle there, right? I can let that go. So I did. And then, so now we're into 2025. I'm referring to myself as AuDHD now, right? Because I have that sort of, I've learnt that. I have that kind of level of understanding of those two things and how they're that, right? I'm that. So in 2025, let's say February, when I had this big sort of, you know, lots of changes in my life, work, things, stresses, my medication change, I've said it all on there already, right? So this big thing happened which has caused me sort of deep dysregulation and suicidal ideation. We're not going that way, which is something that I have a history of. It's weird, right? Because this is not what I was going to talk about, so it's annoying me that I've kind of derailed myself now. I feel like I have. I don't want to talk about suicide, not right now. So 2025 February, this big February, March, right? Things started happening, and March, beginning of March, I got signed off from work. I asked to be signed off because of this stress I was recognising within myself, which was at a level that was becoming a problem. It was going to become a problem for me to manage. I recognise that because now I've got this understanding of my autism and ADHD. I recognise, like I don't know if I've said this before. It's something I keep using, like a phrasing. When I was 17, I was put in a depression box, and I lived in that box until I was like 40. Until 41, somebody saw me and said, "Hang on, I think you might need to go in the autism box." So they took me out of that. I got out of that box, and I feel like I've been put in the right box, right? 2 boxes, or 1 box, AuDHD. I mean, I've got other stuff going on as well, right? The depression is still there, but the depression was there from the beginning because I was in the wrong box and I didn't understand myself and what's going on with me and my life, you know, the way I manage myself and my emotions, everything, all that stuff. So that's why I was depressed. that depression hasn't gone away. It's still there. Now I've got experience of managing that as best as I'm able. But even like when I got diagnosed with autism, it was even before I got the actual sort of report back. It was before. It was like a realization, and it was. I just knew. I knew that was it. This is it. And it was like a good thing. It was like, finally, now I can get some help that is going to work. I can get some understanding that will be helpful, and I can start managing myself and what is actually going on better. And it was good. It was affirming, and the validation was a positive thing. But it's changed. It's still, it's still good for those same reasons of the within myself. I accept it. I accept. Are you? He's gone again. Hang on. He's still going. I think we're okay. So it was good. It was affirming, and it was all I needed to get on board with that and commit to that. Have I? No. Right. And start that new process of learning about these things, and how my characteristics and things about me apply. And that was the first thing that when I got my autism report, the first thing was like, that's the first thing, like the next step is to learn about it so you can educate yourself, and then the second thing was to teach your family as well, because that's how you're gonna learn and just have a better life, by understanding all this stuff. So I started doing that. I don't know what my family do on their own behalf in terms of that education process, whether they do anything. I only know what I'm told, or what I see, what I experience. So as I'm learning for myself, it's a lot. It's a lot, and it's kind of being drip fed to me by what I can take in on my own myself. I don't read. If I read a book, I don't take it in. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't make any sense. I forget it all. So reading isn't a good way for me to learn. And you can get an audiobook. I listen to an audiobook. So I've been listening to audiobooks. I got that autistic. Okay, my flames have stopped, but the camera's still going. Why do they do that? Come on. The autistic workbook. I've been listening to that, and I bought the book as well, because it's got, I wanted to write in it and highlight bits and things like that. And there's exercises and work. It's like a worksheet that you've got to go. I haven't got to those bits yet. I hit a brick wall with that because I haven't been able to listen to it for a few weeks maybe. I don't know. I'm not counting. But I hit a roadblock when the woman who's reading it, started talking about, I need to surround myself with safe people. Who are my safe people? So I thought about that. Claire is a safe person, I would say. And then I don't know. Or maybe I do know, and that's what is the problem. Once I started thinking about it, it was like I wasn't sure I liked the answers I was coming up with. And this led me on to emotionally immature parents. I've been digesting. I mean, so this is how I learn. I learn by doing, by watching. So I've been watching YouTube videos, loads. There's fucking hundreds, thousands of us in there, right? All doing the same thing, trying to explain ourselves to everybody. And most of them have got more understanding than I have. So, it's really windy. I've got the dead cat on, but fucking hell. Don't know. We'll see. I think the other one actually was all right. So I'll presume it's going to be fine. Shit, what was I saying? Fuck. The wind derailed me. Emotion. My mother, right. So I was raised by my mother, Max Verstappen. My mum and biological father separated when I was like 3, and he was absent, right, for many years, and then he came back a little bit. It was a little bit, which I think probably made it worse, just only being a little bit. I don't know. Anyway, but I had a stepdad who I called Dad. He was my sister's dad. He was there. I mean, he is there. Well, he was there. Which way do you want to go, Tucker? Should we go this way? Yeah, come on. We've done it once before, haven't we? So I had I had a male sort of role model, father figure. I always knew my father wasn't here or wasn't around. He was out there somewhere. I didn't know the ins and outs of it, but I knew he existed and was not about. Didn't really have, from what I can remember, didn't really affect me. I mean, it probably did. I'm told it did. When I was 3, Daddy, where's Daddy? But growing up, I didn't really think. It was just a thing I knew. It was what it was, right? I didn't feel sad about it. I didn't really feel anything. I still don't feel anything about it. Not my fault. And then my stepdad, my mum and stepdad split up, so he went, right, and he was still there because because we still went to see him, and he's still my sister's dad, so he's still knocking about, and he's been my dad till now, There was always an emotional distance between he and I. Maybe not from his perspective, but from mine. There was something that wasn't right, which is just, I guess, because he's not actually my dad, right? We're not related, we're not blood, we are different. We have a different makeup, different, backgrounds, whatever. All of that. So it's just natural. It's acceptable for me to think like that, or, oh, what is that? Leave it. Whatever it was, let's leave it. Don't know what it was. Made a noise though. He jumped. So that was always within me, and I never spoke about it, never told anyone. Just accepted it. Well, he's not my dad, really. So that's just what it is. But I was committed, I was on the he's my dad train. Dad, the dad that I am calling dad, right? Despite something, I didn't know what, I don't know what, do I? I didn't know I was autistic, all that, so I didn't know what. Despite not knowing what was up, I guess I probably thought it was me, because I think everything's me, my fault, my things I do or things I don't do, things I say, don't say, my output and contribution to society, my life, is my responsibility. So I guess I didn't really think about it. I just thought that was what it was and didn't think about it. So even though he was there for a bit, really I was just raised by my mother. She was the one who was always there. She has always been. It's really windy. I hope this is coming out. She was always there as my support, my protector, my mum. And she was a safety net. She's been a safety net for me on the, more times than I can count, for one reason or another. Usually money and, getting myself into trouble in some way. And trouble, I don't mean like, fucking hell, it's windy. I don't necessarily mean like in a crime way, but my state of mind and my dysregulation, I know this now, has led me to do and behave in some ways which are not socially acceptable. And I understand that, I see that, I recognise that. Now in the moment, I'm just me trying to live and be okay, and manage myself, and yes, make bad decisions sometimes. I hold my hands up, and I totally am accountable for my actions. Leave it. And so there have been a number of periods, shall we say, episodes or depressive episodes. That's what I've, had called them. I've considered them, when actually they're just me in burnout. I've reached burnout for one reason or another. It's usually around work. I mean, work has been involved consistently every time, I would say. I'm trying to think now. Probably. Unless I wasn't working. And it's because my demands, I guess the expectations of me being just a normal guy were way higher, right, than they should have been, perhaps. You want to go that way? Not sure how I feel about this, Tucker. Alright, well, see what happens. So, my mum's been there. There was a brief window. Well, there may have been more than one, actually. Possibly even 2 or 3 windows where I've shut myself away from her and limited contact. What are you doing, Tucker? Because for whatever I thought I couldn't do it. I left home. I remember when I was 17, I left home, the house I lived in with my mum and my sister, because I couldn't be with my mum. I couldn't stay there anymore, and I went and stayed with my father, my actual father, and that was fucking. I mean, that's another story for another day. But he came and picked me up, and we went, and I stayed with him for a while, and then I went other places, and ultimately I came back to mum's probably like a year later, and then I got into a relationship, and I was in that relationship for 7 years, and I moved in with her eventually. I mean, it's probably pretty quick actually, knowing me. Because I didn't want, my mum, for me, in my internal experience, it was too much. She was too much. So I removed myself from it. And I do that. I remove myself from her when she's becoming, or I think she's becoming too much for me to manage. She doesn't like that. I don't like it, actually. I love my mum. I want my mum. I will be very sad when she is no longer with us. So I've started looking at emotionally immature parents, emotionally immature mothers being raised by an emotionally immature parent. And then I started questioning myself. Am I emotionally immature? I'm autistic, aren't I? And I've got ADHD. I'm AuDHD. Tucker, should we go? Yeah, all right. Can you tell how much I don't want to do this? It's just going this way I've never been. It's another park that I never knew existed. How many parks are around here? There's a number of shit ones over by my side, and this one's pretty good by the looks of it. So I started questioning me: am I emotionally immature? So I'm looking into that, right? And again, there are traits. Yeah, am I? I think I might be. Well, I'm telling you now, I am. Yes. So I've been learning about emotional immaturity in parents first, right? And then it just went to people. And I'm starting to think, I start thinking about me, my mum, it starts with my mum. I start thinking about my father, and then me. And then I start thinking about Claire and her mum and her dad. Claire comes from I don't know if I've said this, dysfunctional family background, similar to mine. We are both neurodivergent, and we are both convinced she is AuDHD. She hasn't been diagnosed with autism. She hasn't had the test. She wants to have it. She can't fill all the paperwork out on herself, by herself. And I've said, yeah, I'll do it for you. And she's got, thanks. And I want to do it, but I haven't been able to do it either. But it's on my to-do list. I've got a to-do list as long as your arm. Like someone with really long arms, anyway. I think we're all emotionally immature. Not all the time, right? This is why it's it's confusing, because of the overlap of symptoms. And the reasoning behind why you do the behaviour is different. I am not emotionally immature because I'm an emotionally immature person. I am emotionally immature because I am autistic. So I've been wrestling in my mind, is my mum an emotionally immature parent? Have I got CPTSD from my childhood? I've got childhood trauma from, my dad leaving and then being raised predominantly by my mother and what she thinks, her values and her things, right? What she thinks right, basically. And it always likes ringing bells, isn't it? It's all ticking all the boxes. But there are still certain things which don't align. It was in late March this year when I had this internal realisation that my mum has got ADHD. I had to learn about ADHD for myself to know what it was and how to recognise it. And I saw it. We went away on holiday. We went to Cornwall. I mean, you were there if you were. I noticed it then, and I talked to Claire about it. She's like, yeah, probably. We even mentioned it to Mum, and Mum's even gone, yeah, I think I am. Now she's in the mindset where, she's too old. Why go and have a test? What's it going to achieve? What's the point? Which is fine for her, I guess. For me, it's not really. I mean, I don't like that idea because I want to know. I want to be able to put everybody in the right box. I want to know why I am the way I am, and so I've been learning about trauma and abuse is a strong word, isn't it? My mum's looked after me. I always, even as a kid, I thought, God, she's well overprotective, and I couldn't do things that my peers were doing. Mum didn't want me to, or danger, or I would try and get away, get out of that any chance I could to mix and mingle and do things that everybody else was doing, be involved and equal. Good boy, over. And my mum is her, like all these red flags that I now can see and recognise, and because of my pattern recognition, I just see them. And because of my healing journey that I've started, it's like I'm on a track where I'm changing and better and being the person I should always have been, and I am allowed to be, right? I should have had support where I did not get it. If I was, born now, I would get it. And that's just life, right? Things change, things progress. Again, I accept it, but it is what it is. That's what I think, anyway. I've had nobody tell me. I still haven't been told whether I am or am not in psychosis. I still don't think I am. And I recognise that I wouldn't know if I was, but I think it's still more likely that I am neurodivergent, and it's because of this. And so yes, my mum is showing all these, and we're not talking still. She keeps showing up at the house, unannounced, parking around the corner, playing silly little games, trying to exert control, and I'm refuting it, and I'm not having it. And so we are not talking at the moment. Claire recognises it as well, okay? She tells me, and we talk about it, because she's just like her own mum, right? And, but my mum showed up the other day. I wasn't there, thankfully. Actually, I don't know if that was better or not, but anyway, it's cross. And Claire unknowingly answered the door and she was right there. Now, my mum has been stressing Claire out with her, texting her and calling her. I've asked her not to, and she's just... Claire's like told me, I don't know why she keeps messaging me. And it's because she can't do it to me. She's not able to do it to me, so she's doing it to Claire to do it to me. But so me and Claire are both getting it. And I don't like that. Claire doesn't like that. But Claire won't tell her. She won't tell her to her face because she doesn't want to hurt feelings. And possibly, I think, Claire's relationship with her mum is non-existent pretty much, and I think maybe Claire gets a motherly... My mum is a motherly figure to Claire, and that's something that she likes and has not had and does not want to lose. Again, I accept and understand that. Good boy. Good boy. So it's been hard for me to... I've been like, it's only today. I sent her a video clip. That's the first time I've mentioned emotional immaturity to my mother. Thing is, right, I've had this other realisation. This happened a few days ago. Maybe a week ago. I was in the shower. And it just dawned on me. Leave it. We already think my mum's got ADHD, right? My mum, she not only has childhood trauma from her own childhood, but also she has 4 brothers. No, she doesn't. She had 3 brothers and 1 sister. One of the brothers has died. And they all have got Fragile X syndrome, right? We've known that all my life, right? That they have that. I've been tested for it. Me and my sister were tested for it as a kid. We don't have that. And my mum didn't have it. My mum was the only normal one, right? Now, Fragile X is linked to autism. Again, the brothers and sisters, my uncles and aunt, they would never have had. They're all in their sort of near Mum's 70. She's the second youngest. I don't know how you word that. Anyway. None of them would ever have been assessed for autism, but they have been put in this Fragile X box. Now they've got it, absolutely, and they've lived in homes, like care homes all their lives. We've gone up there, see them, whatever. This realisation I had in the shower: my mum is not. She did not get... It's not that she didn't get it, it missed her. She is high functioning. She is AuDHD. She has autism. And she has ADHD. She is high functioning like I am. That's why it was never, she's normal. And, probably because she was the only normal one, that's why she suffered at a young age. A lot of responsibility would have been put on her. She had to look at, her parents both died when she was young. Like, I don't remember her parents at all. I think her father died before I was born, and mother maybe not long after. So, my mother has no experience of having the support of a mother for 40 years, and then the child experiencing this neurodivergency, awakening, whatever you want to call it. she has no experience of that, so she can't think about it, she can't accept it, she can't understand it, because she's got no frame of reference for herself. So she is emotionally immature, but it's not because she is emotionally immature, it's because she's autistic. I can't prove it, and she won't have a test. I haven't even, I can't tell her, or I haven't told her. I mean, I'm not talking to her, am I? Anyway, that was it. We're home now. That was the realisation. Me, I'm AuDHD. My mum, she's AuDHD. Claire, she's AuDHD. That's why we're all so alike. That's why we all get on each other's tits. That's why we all have our little rules and ways and things. So yeah, I've got to work that out now. Yeah. If this fucks up, I will not be impressed.